Live? I don't know. Please confirm. Digital says that they felt for this clickbait. I'm pretty sure they, sorry. Come on in, everybody. Make sure you can hear me. New setup. Very experimental right now. I have no idea if this setup's going to work at all, but I would love it if you can confirm for me that you can see me okay, that you can hear me okay, and that you're in this room with me, that you're experiencing this with me right now. I hope it works. So I'm sitting down, as you can see, and it's probably moving forward. Really everything is going to be seated from now on, because I am working on creating a different type of space for y'all. And the reason why, let me turn off the stupid freaking, why do I play music if I always end up turning it off? Can somebody explain to me why I'm so dumb? Anyway, come on in, everybody. Let me know where you're from. Make sure that you can hear me. Make sure that you can see me. Corporate, far as that looking professional. Yes, with my McLovin shirt. A classic on this channel. Thank you all very much. Come on in, everybody. Okay, so I've been working on a few things. Let me just say a few things out of the way. One, I see somebody making a comment about my glasses. Yes, I am wearing glasses today. And the reason why, it's because I am creating this new space, and I have a TV on the wall right here where I'm looking. And this is where all the comments are flowing in, where I'm seeing everything that's coming through. And of course, I like to keep all my live streams really, really interactive, right? So I have it up here on the screen, but they are, it's quite far away from me. So it's probably something I have to fix. And I can't really see it too well unless I have my glasses on. I have stigmatism. Now it's sharp. Now it ain't so sharp. Now it's sharp. Okay, so that's why I have my glasses on. I don't have to wear them for anything outside of that. But anyway, come on in. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Also, something very, very exciting the reason why this whole new setup is brand new right now is that very, very soon, you're going to start seeing something different. And what is that? Let me show you right now. Ready? And of course it's off. Why would it work now? Why would it work? That wouldn't make any sense. Damn it, I had this all teed up for you guys to show you. Anyway, I'm going to start having guests on the channel. That's another really cool thing that we're doing now, is that we're going to start having guests on the channel. The second camera turned off. And actually, you know what? I'm going to turn it on because I really want to show you really bad. Hang on a second. 1 second. Watch this. I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. But let me show you, because I'm really, really excited about this. One of the things that I do a lot in this channel, which a lot of you follow, is that I do have guests that I do over Zoom, or over StreamYard or whatever platform we'll be using that in the near future. But the other thing that I'm also doing is that I'm going to start hosting people in person. Wow, you might say, who is that? There's no one there. You'd be right, because I'm the only person here. Hello. And then over there, in that direction, there is this person. Oh, look at my hand. You can see it. Hello. So that's going to be very exciting. I am asking a couple folks if they want to be, sort of my first guest, because I've never done in-person interviews before. But I've turned this room into almost like a podcast room. But if you saw it in person, it's a freaking disaster right now. This room is an absolute nightmare. And I posted pictures about this situation that I'm in right now. I've literally, the only thing that I've kept that's relatively presentable is this view right here. And then of course the view that I showed you with the second camera. It doesn't look too bad. You can see my hand, but you can see some trash, right? So I wasn't prepared for that. But anyway, very excited to really work on this stuff here with y'all. I think having in-person interviews is going to be very, very fun. I'm already seeing comments coming through where who they want as a in-person interview. We got Dave Lee. Dave's local to Austin, so we both live in the same sort of city suburban area ish, kind of, not really, but we're both in the same metro area. If Rob's ever in town and he wants to swing by, of course he's always welcome. This is obviously in a room in my. I probably shouldn't say where it is. But anyway, I'm going to dox myself so easily. But But yeah, I'm excited to sit down. I've been really been working on this all weekend. I got all the gear in. I really want to thank. I really want to thank everybody who's been supporting the channel. Truly, this is, I've said it multiple times. This is not something that I expected myself to be doing when I started my career in supply chain and whatever, 10 years ago. And thanks to you guys, I've been able to, I don't know, just do what I find is fun and what I think is valuable. And it's sort of taken a life of its own a little bit. And thanks to your support, and especially those who are Patreon members and YouTube supporters, every single penny that's been coming in from you, I've been trying my absolute best to reinvest into the channel as much as I can, so that I can bring you better and better content. And if you follow the channel for a while, you can see that I'm not very afraid to change stuff up all the time. And so I don't know, that's just something that has been embedded in me since I worked at Tesla, I guess. But this is another step. So I'm not super comfortable in this situation, meaning that I don't know what I'm doing, right? I have no idea if this is going to work out. I don't even know if there's going to be an audience for in-person interviews or for this type of format, but I really enjoy talking to people, and I really enjoy learning from people. And one of the people that I really have to thank, honestly, is Yashu from Hit That Bid. Yashu and I spoke not too long ago, and Yashu really encouraged me to take on this sort of in-person interview thing, because I am in Austin, and I'm very fortunate to be in this location. There's going to be more and more people flocking here, especially around the Tesla community and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. So, yeah. So thanks to Yashu's sort of push, I started delving into this arena a little bit, and I really hope to bring you guys as much great content as humanly possible with this new format. And we'll still, I'll still do interviews live as well. I'll still, go on live stream, and I'll pull people on, remotely to talk about whatever they want to talk about. But yeah, I'm very excited to embark on this new journey. This is the first of hopefully many videos in this kind of format. They'll be seated from now on. I'm not going to be necessarily is there too much reflection from my glasses? I just realized that. You guys, am I blinding you guys? Hello. I feel like there's a lot of blue here. Yeah, I hope it's a valuable thing, and really as fun as this is going to be for me to talk to people and really have a good time. I think ultimately what I want it to be is I want it to be a value creator for those that follow my channel, to learn about, say, Tesla, Elon Musk, maybe SpaceX, the future, electric vehicles, autonomous driving. That's really my goal. And then over the long term, as hopefully this thing evolves as it has been, I bring more and more value to the people. And as we go through that journey, your support has always been more than appreciated. And like I said before, I want to take every single one of those, every single penny that anyone in this sort of community wants to send my way, to reinvest it back in the channel to see how we can make it even better. So anyway, enough rambling. Guys, I've been rambling for 10 minutes now, it feels like. Exactly 6 minutes and 28 seconds. Okay, so let's hold on. Why did Alexa just turn on? Alexa, turn off. I don't want to talk to you right now. Stupid TV. Top tip, put a paper bag over your head to stop refractive glasses. Very good idea. Now, what will I do about people not being able to see my face? Oh my God. Anyway, let's start with the market, shall we? So let's see how Tesla ended the day. Obviously, the last week we've had some turbulent markets, especially since the Fed came out and spoke. Let me go ahead and share my screen, since maybe I forgot how to use my TV here, my computer. So let's look at Tesla. We're in Yahoo Finance right now. So it looks like we're up 0.25% for the day, which is good. We did see some craziness last week. Oops, I just messed up my line here. We did go up quite a bit today, and we came down significantly since that point. This is, I guess, called an upside down hammer or whatever. But this is, if you're looking at charts, this typically says reversal, but I'm not a financial analyst. Please do not listen to anything that I'm saying. But I'm curious to see how this plays out for the next couple of days. The one piece of information that I found to be very interesting to track right now is really the Elon Musk and Twitter saga that's going on right now. So one of the things I wanted to cover quick is the deposition of Elon Musk and Parag, who's the CEO of Twitter, was supposed to happen this week. And one of the interesting things that happened is that Elon and both Parag actually now have asked to reschedule the deposition dates away from this week. And one of the things that I've found kind of interesting about this is that, if you follow me on Twitter, I've been very, very almost stupidly coming out almost every Friday and saying, hey, the Twitter Elon settlement is going to happen this week, book it. But I'm curious with the fact that the deposition dates have been moved away from this week and potentially to a different time. So I wonder, okay, is that maybe some fuel to the fire of maybe the settlement that's being worked on, and they don't want to waste their time doing a deposition if they know this is going to get done, right? But as I sort of followed this through the day, I saw that there was a follow-up from Kurt Wagner. I believe Kurt, if I remember correctly, is a CNBC analyst. Bloomberg. He said Elon Musk and Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal were both scheduled to be deposed today. Elon in Delaware and Parag in San Francisco. They are both now trying to reschedule. So it's interesting that is being done, as this bit right here down here says. The Musk Twitter trial starts 3 weeks from today. So that means that they're looking to depose, move the deposition probably until after next week. One of the things that Elon's working through right now, and Gary sort of highlighted here, was that, it's end of quarter, Your Honor. I have to help deliver Teslas to our customers, Elon should say to the judge. Of course, that's done in jest, but I wonder how. That's something that Elon would probably legitimately say to a judge. So that's kind of interesting to think about. But I do think what's interesting about this whole ordeal is that, at least my inclination has been, and as if you've been following the channel and the people that that have been sort of following my line of thinking on this, is that what the hell is this? I just got a U.S. National Weather Service has issued notification on my TV. This is the kind of shit I have to work through. Sorry, excuse me. Now I lost my train of thought. That damn notification completely messed me up. So we're following Elon and Parag's sort of thing with Twitter. Anyway, if you've been following my thing, I think they're going to settle, right? I think they're going to settle on the deal, meaning that they'll probably reach an agreement. What's also interesting to follow as well along with that is that Twitter's performance is sometimes indicative of what the market is thinking as far as what is likely to happen, right? So if we pull up Twitter's chart right now, let's go back to our handy dandy view here. Twitter was up quite a bit today. It was up 23.50 and it came down a lot. And what's interesting about Twitter's movements ever since the deal was made with Elon, is that the price is really reflective of how likely it is that the deal gets done at a certain price. So right now, so after Elon signed with Twitter, we all know that it jumped up basically up to the agreement price. I believe it was 54 something, right? It was right here. So that's sort of when Elon said, I'm going to buy you. Boom, 54, whatever. It was a day after April 1st, I believe. April 5th, it was a week after, roughly. And then it's come down significantly. Then it's gone up since some huge lows. So it's interesting to track this as it was happening. When the news broke of the deposition being rescheduled, you saw this gigantic jump in the Twitter stock price, which to me signals that the market thinks that them rescheduling the date is potentially indicative of them reaching a deal. And so why waste your time doing it? But as we saw from Gary's tweets and others as well, potentially not the case. It's just, just trying to make it so that the schedule is better fit for the two parties in this case. Anyway. What do you guys think? Drop me some comments in the comment section. I'll read through some of them. And then we'll also go ahead and do our usual, if you want to come on and ask a question or, share a point about really anything Tesla, Elon, or Twitter, I'll go ahead and post this in the comment section. So here you go. Here's a link to for you to join the stream. The only thing I require is that you have decent audio, decent internet, wear some headphones so we don't have any echo, and your camera has to be on. So if your camera isn't on, I'm not going to bring you in. Okay, we want to make sure that I can see you and you can see me, and then that the guests can also see you as well. So we've had some other people come on in the past as well. So if you want to share your thoughts or sort of throw something out to the crowd, come on, and then for a couple minutes we'll chat, and then we'll bring on more people as they see fit. So let's go ahead and read some comments. Definitely drop them for me because I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts. Miguel. If Farzad gives Epic 2-hour stream standing, sitting down, it'll be 6-hour streams at least. Yeah, at least, for sure. For sure. Let's go for 12 hours. Why not? Skip bathroom breaks. Screw it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this Elon Twitter stuff, because it's been fascinating to follow. Miguel says, a question. With Optimus, isn't Elon solving the age inverted pyramid sustaining for the future, a robot generating enough revenue to sustain both the elderly and a new renewed generation? Yeah, there's been a lot of chat around Optimus and how it can affect labor markets. I think for me, it's sort of been I've been talking to AI experts and folks that are in robotics, and I go back and forth. I go from this thing being quite incredible for obviously the labor markets and taking stuff that we don't want to do and so basically automating it. But at the same time, there is a lot of our economy that is based on these jobs. So how do we ensure that those people have a pathway forward, right? We can't just yank jobs out of the system and then expect people to figure out if there's no means for us to figure it out, right? So I have some concerns around that. As I talk through with some folks, I think I become a little bit more optimistic, especially super long term. But the transitional period still feels a little wonky for me. I think it's going to be. It could be tough. It could be tough to manage, but I could be very much wrong. Anyone consider the amazing weapon systems that Elon's developing? One could look at it that way. I mean, the rocket business in a SpaceX, and if Starship works out the way it's likely to, you have a pretty amazing weapon or tool to deliver things from one point to another very, very quickly. It could be anything, right? It could be bombs. It could be freaking cars. It's kind of scary to think about, to be completely honest. Look, it's my knee. This new view is so weird. I definitely have to make some tweaks. In the comments section, let me know what you think of the new setup, right? Like, this is not permanent. This was me over the weekend trying to figure out how to make this thing happen so that I can have a stream this week. And there was definitely some difficulties in getting the setup right. So if you have any suggestions, should I move the camera down a little bit more? Should I get it closer, farther away? The lighting, how's the lighting, right? Do let me know what you guys think about that. Here, we got a suggestion here. I might suggest not having the dome light in the shot. This one right here, right? A bit more separation of light in the background may also look good, but just some thoughts from a video guy. I appreciate that, Blake. No, thank you very much. Yeah, my challenge is trying to figure out how to get myself lit when I have a guest in here, as well as my guest in person once we start having those people, right? And so that's right now, that's facing them. So I'm trying to figure out how to best set up the room so that I can do both, because I don't want to like move the lights around constantly, right? So, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. If I have a bigger space, I think that will probably make it easier to do. To have a hybrid of both setups, but yeah, I'm definitely working through it. But I appreciate you guys very much helping me through that. Farzad is looking like McLovin. You mean like this stud right here, like this guy? I don't know, man. This guy's pretty sexy. I don't think I can catch up to that person. How many guitars do you own? 2 right now. I'm working on a 3rd. I'm probably going to get a Stratocaster at some point. So, yeah, the more comfortable you are, the better the discussion will be. I agree, and that's kind of my thought around it too. Is that I think if I am comfortable, there's a certain vibe that's going to appear. I think it's going to make the guests feel comfortable as well. The one thing that I've been trying really hard to do on my live conversations would say, like when we had Jordan on and when we had other folks on. The one thing that's really helped me with having, I believe, good conversations with these folks is, one, have the luxury of being able to have really smart people come on my channel, and I get to talk to them and they get to say their brilliant stuff. So like I'm not really doing much. So that's one. And then two, as I've gotten to know some of these folks, like a rapport is starting to build. We're starting to build some relationships with these folks, and these are all brilliant, really, really kind, awesome people. And when you get comfortable with somebody, I feel like it naturally brings a flow of discussion that's more open, could be more valuable, right? Because I think people really admire and really appreciate honesty and being in a room where somebody's free, kind of speaking their mind. So that's my goal: is that how can I make that happen anytime I talk to somebody? And I think sitting down might have something to do with it, because even now as I'm sitting, I feel just feel more relaxed. Like, I don't know if it's coming across on video, but I literally feel like I'm chilling. I also have had a really busy 3 days, so this is kind of first time I got to sit down and actually relax, and I get to decide to relax with y'all. So, yeah, and I did see somebody say, Claude, okay, honestly, I like your standing videos far as up, but could get used to this. There is something to be said for the standing videos as well, because I think standing, it allows me to be more focused and more, I guess, intense in a way. But who knows? Maybe having it seated could open up a new avenue for me to have a different kind of conversation. Who knows? But I'm always open to try stuff, right? And I appreciate everyone's feedback. So be honest, everybody. Like, I'm not scared to receive feedback that's gonna hurt my feelings. This is the only way to get better. Do you think Elon Musk would really set foot on Mars? Maybe like when he's close to his sort of, like, I guess, end. Potentially. I know he wants to, so he'll probably make it happen. What's Wall Street's reaction to Q3? Set up a school. That is a great topic, right? So let's talk about Q3 a little bit. I think Q3 is an interesting quarter because, one, it's going to likely break most records, if not all records, that Tesla has. Second, it sets up a narrative for the fourth quarter that says that Tesla is in a growth phase, which Tesla has been talked about quite a bit, that they're about to spike deliveries and production significantly more because of Austin and Berlin. And then three, the way Berlin and Austin have been ramping, it should also mean that margins and net income for the company are going to be significantly higher, especially versus the previous quarter. Because you remember in Q2, you had two factors going on. You have Shanghai being closed for multiple weeks, and then you had Austin and Berlin barely ramped. I mean, they were barely shipping any cars. And so you have all this cost from a factory with all these employees and depreciation and whatever else, that's meant to be building 5,000 cars a week, and you're only making 100 cars a week. That means that you can only spread 5,000 cars worth of costs over 100 cars, and that makes your margin completely terrible. So the thought process is, as Austin and Berlin really start ramping up, there's going to be a break-even point where these factories are going to start making money, which is going to drop to the bottom line directly for Tesla because of their operating leverage. So Q3 and Q4, and I've mentioned it on the live streams before, I really do think it has the potential to change the narrative of how most of Wall Street views Tesla. I think there's still this sort of thought process in a lot of different circles that they view Tesla as not necessarily a company that can generate a ton of profits sustainably for the long term because of, in their heads, I think it's the demand. The demand is dubious long term. Their production ramp seems unclear long term. But if Tesla is able to say, with 1/2 or 1/4 of any other automaker in the US, we can make 2 to 4x more profit than those automakers, but with 1/2 or 1/4 of the volume, then the story changes dramatically. The story goes from, this is a company that is dependent on growth to make a lot of money, to this company can make just as much money, if not more money, than an automaker with a fraction of the volume. And so the valuation becomes, I think, different, because if the lever does exist where Tesla can really grow into, say, millions or tens of millions of vehicles, then that lever they have of the profitability should continue forward with the volumes that they'll be generating, right? One would think, unless there's some sort of crazy force that comes through that really pushes the pricing of Tesla cars downwards. But that only really happens if the EV market is saturated or oversaturated with EVs versus the rest of the car market. And in an environment where most cars are still gas cars, 1.4 billion cars on planet Earth right now, 99% of those are gas cars. Unless you're reaching a point where there is market saturation to replace those gas cars, I don't really think there's going to be too much pricing pressure short of a very serious and catastrophic downturn to the economy in, say, the next 1 to 2 years. Not financial advice. I don't know what I'm talking about, please, but these are just sort of, I'm just thinking out loud here. So what could cause those things, those economic breakdowns? So Russia, Ukraine could be a factor. You got China with a lot of potential housing problems. That could be a problem. Inflation in the U.S. And the way the Fed is dealing with that inflation could be a problem. You have a lot of these different factors existing right now in the world economy that could materially impact demand. So then the question becomes, are those things serious enough to impact Tesla's ability to reach their goal of, say, 10 million cars in the next 5 years per year, or 20 million cars by 2030? If and so where my head goes is like, okay, there could be a situation where you have, say, a China housing crisis plus Russia, Ukraine devolving into nuclear warfare, plus the Fed raising rates too much, which causes a spiral of people being laid off, people not being able to afford a house, and folks losing their jobs, and the debt on the U.S. becoming too expensive to serve. So you have a lot of different factors going on that could all come together and cause a serious issue. If it were to come to that situation, my head doesn't go to, oh, is Tesla going to be okay? My head goes to, like, are we going to be okay? Tesla gets completely thrown out of the equation, because if you have that war, you have the Chinese economy collapsing, you have the U.S. economy collapsing, Tesla's going to be the least of our problems. You're not going to be able to put money anywhere. One would think, unless, I'm sure there's going to be asset classes out there that generally do extremely good in these sort of environments, like, I don't know, frickin' gold, right? One could make the argument for real estate in places where people want to live in. Ammunition, I don't freaking know. The entire equation changes dramatically. I don't think we're going there personally, and don't listen to me for that advice, okay? But the way I think about it is that I do think that the U.S. economy will do okay in the next 12 months based on my intuition of going out there and talking to people. And I'm still seeing a lot of people traveling. I'm still seeing a lot of people going out and spending. Locally, I'm seeing a lot of prices coming down. So I do see an inflation coming down quite a bit. I am not a financial expert. I'm not looking at complete data sets. But anecdotally and sort of boots on the ground, I feel like the economy is still doing well enough so that even if there was a recession coming on board in this next six to 12 months, the assets that I have, a lot of which is Tesla, to be completely transparent, are likely to be okay in the next 6 to 12 months, especially given the fact that if governments are looking to stimulate economies to try and get out of this hole that we could potentially be in, they're not going to stimulate it based on old technology. They're going to stimulate it based on new technology. And that's why we have things like the EV tax credit that's coming out in the US, right? So let's just focus on the US for this example. This sort of logic should apply to the rest of the world. So the only way to get out of economic crises, at least from what I've seen and learned from my stupid little life that I've lived or whatever I've learned, is that you stimulate by investing into the future. Electric vehicles, self-driving cars, energy storage, solar panels, AI, robotics. These are things that are for the future. And then what company is in those industries? Tesla, right? So the way I think about it is sort of, let me just wrap it up there. That's how I think about it. I think about it in that perspective, that if we do face calamities that are really, really impacting the entire economy, I look at companies that are going to be well positioned to benefit from investment into the future. And it just so happens that Tesla has those industries, some of them kind of cornered. You think about the electric vehicle market and the battery market, Tesla's kind of, there's not a monopoly, but they have a supply chain that's by far the most robust and by far the most profitable. You have companies like BYD in China that are selling a lot of EVs as well, but they're doing so at a much lower profitability level. And you have other companies like CATL as an example. I believe excuse me, I forget who the manufacturer is, but there's a manufacturer that has decided to start selling their batteries to Tesla because that manufacturer more than likely has surplus supply of batteries that they can't sell in their car. So they're looking to sell those batteries to somebody else. Lo and behold, Tesla's a customer and they're able to sell their cars as well. So long story short, a lot of variables that point towards Tesla's long-term future, especially being secure. And then we're not even talking about the fact that they have $18 billion in cash with basically no debt. And in the next 2 quarters, they're probably going to generate anywhere between, say, $5 to $10 billion in additional cash, potentially. Maybe not 10, but probably closer to 5, maybe even more between the 2 quarters. So that's $23 billion. You got Elon Musk talking about a potential buyback coming soon in an environment that seems uncertain and recessionary. So what does that sort of talk about the confidence of Elon and the leadership team there when they're talking about buybacks in an environment where the stock market's down from its peaks like 20, 30%, the housing market's going down, there's talks about recession, and then we got Elon Musk at the investor meeting, we might do buybacks here soon. That tells a story. That tells a story somewhat, right? So what do you think about that? BYD, thank you. What do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts about that. So that's a Q3 question, and I just went pretty deep into it. So I hope it was helpful. Yeah. Somebody said something about clickbait. What do you guys think about the thumbnail, by the way? I've been investing so much time since I started doing YouTube and figuring out how to do like thumbnails and titles, because it's so much work to present your topic in a way so that you want people to watch it, but you don't want to betray their trust by forcing them to click on it and then not deliver on the promise or to sort of like betray their trust. I view say bad clickbait. So sort of like, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to use any examples. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. It betrays trust, but there's also a fine line between betraying trust and trying to get people to like really come watch your stuff because you've put work in it. You want people like to see the fruits of your labor, and presenting it, packaging it in a way so that it's most people want to absorb it without betraying their trust is really, really hard. And so I'm like, okay, how can I do something that's clickbaity, but also be transparently clickbaity, but at the same time have it so that people are like, oh, that's kind of funny or stupid. I'm just going to click on it just to see what it's there. I don't know what my expectations are. That was a thumbnail. Plus, my face, if you notice, it's the definition's significantly higher. My wife sat down, she bought a new lens for her camera, and she took some pictures of me, and I have like different reactions, and I try not to do the freaking clickbait faces you see all the time that are very effective and work, and they work for a reason. I didn't do any of them, but I did do some. You want some variety in your facial expressions. These are the crazy things that I never thought I would work on. These like random ass friggin' titles and videos. I never knew I was going to work on titles and videos, and here we are, or thumbnails rather. Here we are. So, what other questions do you have? Let me know. Drop them in the comments below. And again, if you do want to come on and ask a question live, I do require y'all to have your camera on, please, and decent audio and decent internet so that people can hear you and you don't lag out on us. Next question. Cybertruck gross auto margins when 50%. Yeah, so I have a video. Where I run through a model where I believe that Cybertruck has the potential of hitting 50% margins in probably the next couple years. So the way I think about that, just to walk you through the model. By the way, 469 viewers. I saw it for a second. Nice. Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate everybody who stopped in. Love you guys so much. If you enjoy what you're watching, like the video, but you don't have to. Just stay for the fun. who says that? Stay for the something. I think Andre Check. I think he says, come for the finance, stay for the blah. I like his stuff. Admiral Piet. Question, Cybertruck gross margins went 50%. I did a video not too long ago. So the way I think about this is, okay, there was a comment made by Elon back in the day. I believe this was during the Cybertruck unveil, which, by the way, you can't find on YouTube because I believe Tesla took down because they were too embarrassed at how big of a shit show it was to break their own window, which in itself is hilarious. Where he made a comment that Tesla needs to get to a point where they're able to manufacture Cybertruck at the same cost as the Model 3 at that time. This is 2019, November 2019, ideally. And the reason why they would be able to reach this level of manufacturing cost is because of the exoskeleton. So if you're not familiar with the Cybertruck, it's basically one sort of, the way it's built, it's basically the outside of the car is the skeleton, whereas typical pickup trucks are body on frame, which is basically a more complicated way of making the car. With the Cybertruck, you would have an exoskeleton, which reduces complexity quite a bit from that format. Then you have castings, which remove quite a bit of work that has to go into ensuring that the structure of the car is secure from within the exoskeleton. You have things like the 4680 battery infrastructure or platform, which all in all should reduce the battery costs, if we believe what Tesla says, by 56% in the next, say, few years. Then you also have the removal of the paint shop, which is something that obviously adds a lot of cost. It takes up a lot of room in your factory. So you have all these things going on. And then you have 3 years of manufacturing expertise that has been built since the unveil of Cybertruck in 2019. So you have these factors going on. Then on top of that, you have a market that's likely to demand that Cybertruck in really, really, really high levels at a price that's probably much higher than what Tesla originally anticipated. So if you remember when the Cybertruck was originally unveiled, it was unveiled at $40,000 base. I think $39,900 was the base price. And of course, that's no longer going to be the case. But that should give you a hint that says that Tesla was very much, and should still be very much, planning to be able to sell this car at a very in a very profitable way, or let's say it a different way, at very low costs, very, very low costs. And that's why they're able to justify $40,000 per Cybertruck. Now, fast forward 3 years from now, or from 3 years from then now, we're in 2022, almost November, almost 3 years since the Cybertruck was unveiled. Now you have a situation where the cost targets for Tesla are still going to be on point. They're still, the way Tesla operates is they're always trying to take costs out of the system when it comes to building cars. So having a Cybertruck that's manufactured at around the same cost as the Model 3 should still very much be a target. And if we look at the current cost of the Model 3 today in 2022, given inflation and all the other stuff that has been happening in the world, there is a lot of numbers. A lot of people have done models for these. You have people like Matt Smith from Good Soil. You got James Stevenson. You got Gary Black. You have a lot of people. Rob Mao, or so many people I can name that have gone through and have thought about Troy Teslike, another one, have thought about what the cost of a Model 3 could be, and the number that I've sort of seen thrown around that seems to be hitting a lot of check boxes is about $37,000 per Model 3 for the cost, 37,000-ish. So it costs Tesla $37,000, and then I believe the Model 3, the lowest spec Model 3 you can buy in the United States, sells for $46,000 right now, which is roughly, say, call it 20% margin-ish. So $37,000 cost. If we assume that Tesla's original claim of Cybertruck having similar cost to Model 3 remains, then that means Cybertruck's going to be anywhere between $37,000 to $40,000 to manufacture cost. A lot of people might say, well, that seems kind of crazy. It's a much bigger car. It's much has more stuff in it. But again, let's think through what the Model 3 was. The Model 3 was the first generation of a affordable mass market car, which knowing the work that Sandy Monroe and team did on the original Model 3, not the most smartly built car in the world. The electronics, the technology, all that stuff, incredible, state-of-the-art driving experience. But the way it was manufactured, not the most efficient way of manufacturing a car, right? So you take that car and then you add all these improvements over the next 3 years of cleaning up your manufacturing process, exoskeleton, castings, 4680, no paint shop. It's not hard to believe that you're going to have that sort of cost basis for the car. Now, in today's market, you have Rivian R1Ts, the pickup truck that's sold by Rivian. The base model of that car sells at around $73,000, $74,000. The F-150 Raptor, which is going to be, I think, a direct competitor to Cybertruck, sells around $72,000 per car, base price. We all know that Tesla carries a premium when it comes to themselves versus the competition, maybe like it's called 5 to 10% higher. If you look at sort of compare Tesla to the competition, they're slightly above, like say 5% or so. But you layer in full self-driving and you layer in how cool of a product this is going to be. Is it hard to believe that the average selling price of Cybertruck is going to be, say, $75,000? And if the answer is no, it's not hard to believe that the average selling price of Cybertruck is going to be $75,000. Then the answer is $75,000 minus $37,000 for the cost leaves you with about $37,000 in profit, which if you put it over the price of the vehicle, which is $75,000, is 50% margin. So, very long answer to your question. I have a whole video on this, but I think within 2 years there could be a situation where Cybertruck could very much be selling for 50% margin, and we're not even talking about the impact of full self-driving on top of this. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that probably say, "Hey, there is going to be a situation where Cybertruck pricing is going to have to come down because people are not going to be able to afford it," and that's 100% sure going to happen. But is that going to be happening in 5 years' time, or is that going to happen in 2 years' time? I'm really curious to see how this dynamic plays out. But there's very much I think there's a chance for Cybertruck to sell at 50% margin for at least some period of time. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think about that craziness. Because if that's the case, then boy, are we going to be some crazy stuff going on. All right. What other questions do you all have? Recap the studio change. Same location at home, offsite office, everything okay? Everything's good so far. I just redid the same space that I had from before. Now I just have a sort of sit-down style. I have a guest cam, which may have turned off. Let's see if it's still there. Let's try it. Ready? And no, it turned off. I got to figure out how to make sure it stays on. There's like a bug with the camera I got to figure out. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm working through. I love your t-shirt. Thank you. I love you. Ay. Will they honor the pre-order Cybertruck prices? I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe Tesla came out and said no. I think they're going to come out and raise the prices outright. And I believe it was a comment Elon made at the investor meeting where, it was like, it was 3 years ago and we are making a lot of changes. So I don't think so. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think people should come to expect that. Sucks, yeah, for sure. But what are you going to do? What do you think of the potential for Tesla Bot to eventually create vocations that people want to engage, as opposed to people being worried about losing their livelihoods to automation? That's such a good question, right, Claude? That's a great, and that's the question. I'm thinking through that a lot. So the question becomes, the people that have lost their jobs or no longer do the job they would do because Tesla Bot now does it more safely, way cheaper, way faster. So, call it a lot of blue collar jobs like manual labor jobs. Is there going to be a way for these people to survive in a world where they're expected to earn money while they figure out what that thing is that people are going to find value in? That's really that becomes my biggest question in this whole thing. Is there an opportunity for that to happen? Absolutely. But what are the mechanics that ensure that people are able to do the things that make them happy while making money? We live in a society, unless we get rid of money in the age of the bot, you're still going to be expected to earn a living to be able to pay for the things like rent and food and shelter and, whatever, entertainment, water, travel. You still need some sort of income. And the majority of the workforce in most of the world does manual labor. If that gets removed, and it happens very quickly, what does the transition look like for those people to be able to earn a living in an age where people expect to be paid for an exchange of service and time? I don't know. I'm still thinking through this, and I love to hear people's thoughts around this. And I've seen universal basic income being thrown around for sure, 100%. But like, where does that money come from, right? How do we ensure that the money exists? You could take it from the robots creating the value for sure. But, if you have, in the worst case scenario, you have, 100 million people. So let's use the US as an example. The US has 330 million people. I think between drivers, say taxi drivers, truck drivers, and let's say, construction workers, that's probably 5 to 10 million people easily. Are those 10 million people going to be able to find something that's going to allow them to earn the same living they did before? If the answer is yes, then I would love to see what the mechanics are that allows them to get there. If the answer is no, then I think we have a problem, right? But yeah, that's how I think about it. Do let me know what you guys think. But yeah, you should lower your camera angle. Yeah, I think I'm going to. Should I do it now? Let's try it. Watch this. Let's see. And hello. That's creepy. And come on, a little bit. Get down. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing, dude. You know what? I'm gonna save it for later. Instead of making it even more awkward, I'm hitting the wrong knob, so it's okay. We'll figure it out for next time. But I do appreciate it. Thank you for your feedback. What if Tesla added the ability to share your Tesla's location to friends or family's Teslas? Seeing each other on the map in the car, great for multi-Tesla road trips. Thoughts? Yeah, that'd be cool. I think the question becomes, what's the long-term, the long-term utility of this, and how much work does it require to do that, and how much benefit, like how often will people use this feature? I think a lot of people like privacy, and so maybe that feature won't be used nearly as often as people might think, because they're like, well, I don't want people to know where I'm going. Even if it's your family members, how many family members do you have that like privacy? So it's interesting. And there's a comment down here. iPhone already does that. Sure. Yeah. You could just use your iPhones, but I think it'd be cool if it's embedded in the Tesla map. I can see what the person's saying, but yeah, I'd be curious. Werner. Yeah. Thank you for your question, Werner. Matt Smith. Look at this. Isn't that the youngest adult you've ever seen in your life? What is that profile picture, Matt? You look like you're 12, bro. What happened? Obviously teasing. Matt is, actually, I can call him a friend, a good friend of mine. We met in person in Austin not too long ago, and we still have been keeping in touch. And Matt's one of the smartest people I know. And the work he does with Emmett and Good Soil is phenomenal. If you guys don't follow Good Soil Investing, please go follow them and follow Matt's work. But man, do you look young in that picture, bro. You're the youngest old person I know. FSD price is locked in, but the reservation agreement clearly states the price can change. There you go. Thank you, Matt. You're so smart. And you look so young. Well done. That was my professional pick when I was in investment banking. Dude, were you like straight out of high school? We're just ripping on Matt right now. He's such a good sport. Everybody make fun of Matt. I'm just kidding. Don't make fun of Matt. He's the best. You have helped me become a better critical thinker. Thank you. Oh, Cedric, that's so nice to say, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Cedric. That's why one of my goals behind these live streams is to get you guys into sort of how I approach things, like how I think through things. And I'm not saying the way I think through things is correct. This is stupid, Mike. But yeah, it might be some helpful data points, for all of you to sort of see how I approach certain, thought processes or whatever. And then if it's something that's helpful for y'all to use for your own thing, then it's great. Look at that. Matt sucks. Well done. That was before Matt had 13 kids. Matt, you are the butt of our jokes today. Thank you very much for volunteering yourself with that picture. Do you think Tesla Twitter expectations for the bot are way too high for AI Day 2? What are Tesla Twitter's expectations for AI Day 2? What are some of the expectations we have out there? Let me know. I'm not really quite sure what the expectations are. I hate the way this mic is setting right now. I'm having a terrible time with this mic. Look at this. Looks so silly, doesn't it? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Let me know what Tesla Twitter is thinking about when it comes to the bot. I think there is an opportunity for the bot to do some crazy stuff that hasn't been seen before, for sure, especially for robots. Now, I don't know if that's going to be like a mind-blowing thing where bots, like I heard, I forget who said this, but I heard it would be awesome if you have robotaxis show up with Tesla bot, and then the Tesla bot gets out of the car, the robotaxis, and deliver pizzas to the crowd. That would be nuts. Now, of course, you could pre-program those bots to do that, but what I personally am looking forward to is how are bots going to learn how to do things? 'Cause that's my biggest question. Is if you have a bot and you want to teach it how to build a house, or I don't know, fold your laundry, or go out and run some errands, or hammer a nail, build a car. How do you teach it to do that? You know, what's the mechanism? That's what I'm most interested in. Let me try something. Is that better? Is that any better? Do I look silly? I'm going to try this. I don't know if this is any better, but I'm going to try it this way. Did I get an invitation to AI Day Part 2? No, I did not. I don't even know why they would invite me, to be honest. I don't think I bring any value to that meeting. I'd be way too lost. There was a question about CPI. Do you think the next CPI data will reflect the drop that reflects? Hold on, let me read that again. Do you think the next CPI data will reflect the drop that reflects what Elon deems economy has passed its worst period of inflation? So, do I think that the CPI is going to show has that we're past period of inflation, the worst period of inflation? It should. I mean, in person, we've been feeling, at least I've been seeing prices come down quite a bit. So in theory, you would think that one of the reports that tracks that kind of stuff would arrive to the same conclusion. But I honestly, when it comes to the Fed, I can go on a 10-minute rant on the Fed, and you guys let me know if you want to hear my rant, my very uneducated, stupid rant. But yeah, I'm just confused, is the best way to say it. Any chance of a one-to-one with Joe Justice? I am really keen to get your take on what he says Tesla's doing. Yeah, actually, I had Joe on. He was my second interview ever. Dave Lee was my first interview ever. Thank you, Dave, for being the first one, by the way, to this day. He was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Joe was my second one. So if you're ever curious to hear some insight about our conversation, go check it out. I do see that Joe definitely makes the rounds. So props to him for going around and doing that. I would be very impressed with seeing a single arm use the FSD tech to identify objects and manipulate them. Taking orders is nuts. Yeah, that would be very cool. That would be very, very, very cool. Let's see. When will Teslas get an app store? Great question, Brian. Great background, by the way. Where were you, dude? Holy shit. Wow. Beautiful picture. I would say probably once FSD is done, meaning that, say, level 4 is complete and they're starting to move towards level 5 where you don't need a driver anymore, then I think at that point it would make sense for them to really invest heavily into an app store, because that's where the opportunity becomes huge for developers to create experiences for passengers that in a vehicle that doesn't need a driver. So it would make the most sense to do it at that point, in my opinion, obviously. Will Tesla leverage Starlink in developing countries for access to raw materials? Oh, I do think that one of the biggest benefits of Starlink, especially with the stuff that's been going on in Iran, like I made a video about this on Friday. I'm Persian, 100% Persian. Both of my parents were born in Iran. In 1979, they left the country when there was a revolution to sort of continue their education, and half of my family is there. And Starlink is proving to be an amazing tool for the population there. Hopefully, once they hopefully start smuggling some terminals in there to use it as a communications device to try and, let's say, how do we say this in a way that's as nice as possible? That increases the people's chances to achieve what they want to achieve, right? Freedom. So that's super powerful. And then if you take that same tool and you apply it to the whole world and allow people that usually don't have access to communicate with each other or with others to do that now, then you essentially open up a line of human to human interaction that has never existed before, that really allows you to do things you've never been able to do. Like, do business with people in developing countries, say in Africa or Asia or South America or Central America. The whole economy opens up in a way. So there's a lot of potential there. It's very, very exciting. I'm getting feedback about the mic that's better this way. I agree. I'm going to keep it this way. I think, yeah, that looks better. That looks good. Much better. You have to ask for invite, apparently. Oh, to AI Day 2? That's okay. I always feel bad asking Tesla for anything or like any of those guys because I was already there, for a little 4 years. So I'm like, I got a chance to really get to experience that for myself. And so, I feel fortunate enough. So I want other people to have the experience. Your chair is broken. Looks like you're low riding to the left. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that in this house sometimes are not there, not in the best shape. But I do try to get I try to make it as frugal as possible so I can just get started. Just get stuff done. I don't need any crazy stuff to do this stuff. Although I have invested quite a bit in lighting and cameras, so kind of counterintuitive a little bit. So, am I crazy, or is it possible for Tesla to deliver close to 3 million cars in 2023? 1.2 million from Shanghai, 800,000 from Fremont, and 500K each from Berlin and Austin. Too bullish? Yes. I think in my model I have it at 2.4 million. Last time I checked, maybe 2.3 million. 1.2 million from Shanghai is quite a stretch. I think right now they might be at 700,000, maybe 800,000. 800,000 from Fremont is literally impossible. I don't think they have the room to do that. 500,000 each from Berlin and Austin. I don't think so. I think they might end the year at a run rate of 500,000, but there's no way they'd be able to deliver 500,000 from Austin. So I would say anywhere between 2.2. Let's say from 2 to 2.5 million, I think is a possible. 2.5 million is going to be, the higher end of the spectrum, if I were to guess. And then 2 would be, I think a good safe bet if you believe that Tesla is not going to have any issues delivering those cars. So best title ever, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, Randall. What else have we got? What other questions do you have? I've been posting the link to for people to join me on here and Ask Persons Live, but I think people are shy today, which is completely fine. It's completely fine. What other questions do y'all have about Tesla, Elon, Twitter, anything else? What else do you want to ask me? Go for it. Let's go longer. Why not? I'm comfortable. See, this is the nice thing about having a comfortable setup. I can just sit here and chat with y'all, and I have a big old friggin' screen right here, and I can watch all your comments roll through. Yeah. If I ordered a Tesla Model Y for $54,000 and I hold off on delivery until 2023, will $7,500 credit be deducted? Great question, Kevin. I have no idea. Does anybody in the comment section know? Let's help out Kevin and see if we can answer his question. I don't know. That's a very good question. There's still a lot of dubious stuff with that bill. How difficult is it to smuggle terminals into Iran? The only thing I can say, given that I have family there, is that, I'm not saying my family does this. I'm just saying that from what I've heard through the grapevine, is that Iranians tend to have access to the things that they want in they can get it in different ways. and there's channels for them to do that. And so I'm wondering if there's a way for them to get those terminals in some way, shape, or form. So Iranian people are very crafty. Let's just say that. Let me know if that makes any sense. What else do y'all have? Farzad looks very relaxed. I feel very relaxed. It's that seating position, man. I'm going to fix the camera. Watch this. I'm going to go lower. Ready? Oh, boy. Could this be a meme-worthy moment here? Let's see. I feel so weird staring into your soul right now. Let's see. Let's go a little bit lower. I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm not going to do... Oh, shit. See? I knew it was going to do that. How did I know it was going to do that? Sorry, everybody. This is why we do it live. What's that one Bill O'Reilly meme? I can't believe it fell like that. Is that better? Oh, God. We're so amateurish, y'all. What an amateur, Farzad. Jeez, you're such an amateur. Hold on. All right. Good thing your pants are on. How do you know they're on? I'm just kidding. They're definitely on. Google, please don't report me. All right, let me know if that's better. Let me know if that's a little bit better view. Wait, no clickbait? That makes this clickbait, which is not clickbait, which is... Exactly. See? Haha. Much better. Thank you. I definitely twisted the thing the other way and the camera went bloop. Yeah, definitely send some questions for y'all. We'll keep answering these. Here we go. I'm glad that Elon opened Starlink for the Iranian people, but I'm concerned how China will react. Yeah, man, I think the current global climate is so odd. It's definitely something, I'm 35. By the way, you have an Amazon delivery. Thank you. That's why that thing is flashing. I should probably move that out frame, eh? I'm Canadian now, eh? I'm glad that Elon opened Starlink for Iranian people, but I'm concerned how China will react. Yeah, I think China is it's an interesting variable to track right now because they're really, going hard with the Taiwan stuff, or it seems like they are. There's also this rumor I saw online, which is probably not true, that Xi Jinping is under house arrest or some crazy stuff, the president of China or the leader of China. I don't know, man. I'm not smart enough to understand what the hell is happening with China. I default to other people when it comes to that. All right. I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun? I'm having such a good time. We're just relaxing, talking, chatting, having a good time. Having a really good time. I'm having a blast. Elon has stated that there will be 10 to 12 gigafactories, assuming the next announced site to be in North America. Where would the next one be? I made a video about, I think it's going to be in Canada. Canada. Oh, look, speaking. Yashu. What's up, dude? Should we get Yashu in here? Yashu, if you're free, bro, come on in. There's a link. Yashu's my bud. Yashu and I have been doing these spaces together on Twitter, and we've also been simulcasting, doing it at the same time on YouTube as well. And I think him and I riff really well. So Yashu, I really appreciate it. I was just giving you a shout out earlier today on the stream. I'm working on this in-person studio, and you're the main reason why, because you pushed me to do it. So if you have time to hop on, go for it. If not, dude, it's all good. I'm not gonna force you. Yashu is a busy man. Let's not do whatever you want. If and when there is a direct competitor to Tesla, who do you foresee this to be, and when do you think this would happen? I do think it's going to be from a new automaker, and it's probably going to be Chinese. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. We did it. We did it, y'all. How's it going? Where are you?
I'm at a coffee shop. I'm just I've got my computer here. I like to just hang out in the sun, enjoy the day, shit. Watching your stream. I appreciate your content as usual, and hopefully the Twitter settlement comes so you can have some breaking news here.
Listen, I've tried how many times to get this thing freaking right. This is my 4th time trying to get this stupid settlement call correct. And like in my head, I'm like, it has to happen. It has to happen. And the first time I sent out the tweet, I'm like, you know what? The verbiage I used was Twitter Elon settlement will close after market close today. So technically, it's still after market close after that day.
I bet you it's one of those late evening type of news stories that come out. It's probably
100%.
one of those like East Coast is kind of sleep already. Pacific time it comes out late.
100%. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen?
I think the settlement's going to happen. It just makes sense. It makes so much sense. I mean, Twitter was up today for whatever reason, and it just seems like him not getting deposed kind of signs are pointing towards that happening. That's my guess.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there too. I do think the fact that they've rescheduled the deposition is some sort of signal, and the fact that the trial's happening in 3 weeks, I feel like that's like, I don't know how this stuff usually works. I'm not a lawyer, but and the fact, like, I keep going back to, like, if Twitter, it really comes down to Elon. If we believe that Elon is really trying to get Twitter to accelerate his plans to get a new social media company, then it would be in his best interest to close a deal with Twitter to make that happen. But then Twitter has a much bigger forcing function to settle, because if Elon backs out of the deal and ends up paying the penalty, even if ends up paying the penalty, that means that in 2 to 3 years' time, Twitter is going to have a competitor, which is likely going to cause that company's valuation to come down dramatically. So the last thing Twitter wants, I think, is a direct competitor by a person and a team who are hell-bent on creating state-of-the-art technology. I don't think that's a winning recipe for Twitter. So Twitter, I think, is incentivized to settle as soon as humanly possible. And then the last thing you want is to be a corporate, like a company, going to trial and letting all your dirty laundry air out. Doesn't seem like a winning formula, but I'm a moron. I don't know what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, same thing with Elon. I don't think he wants to really be deposed either. Probably doesn't make sense to. Like, AI Day is happening this week. Does he really want all the attention to be on that, right? So, exactly. I don't know. Look, I think I love Twitter as much as the next guy, but the fact that they haven't been able to monetize, like, it's just a crappy platform. The only thing that they have going for them is their user base, and that people are addicted to Twitter. And that's why I love Twitter. I've been on Twitter for over a decade at this point. And I love it, but it's like, if they could merge with some sort of YouTube type of, like, I think we've talked about this off stream, even, like, if Twitter can get their video stuff straight and start monetizing for creators, like, YouTube would, it'd be quite scary for YouTube. So that's from, I see everyone in the chat. How's it going, everyone? Yeah, it's one of the last few sunny days in Vancouver, so I'm trying to enjoy it while I can.
It's called move to Austin, bro. We got these days like 300 days out of the year, maybe more. Austin's calling your name.
Aren't there like a lot of hurricanes and like storms that happen down there?
No, that's fake news, bro. Don't listen to the media. I don't know.
Isn't that what happened last year?
Well, we don't talk about that. No, what would we call it? We call it Snowvid. Snowvid was the 2021, the winter of 2021. Yeah, we had like 6 inches of snow, but like 2 inches of ice, and it was 0 degrees for like 5 days, and everything just it was not a good place to be. The water wasn't working, didn't have electricity for like on and off for like a week. It was a disaster. I mean, all the roads were shut down because, of course, we don't have plows and salt out here, and like, treatment for the roads. There's like one plow in the entire state of Texas. So, yeah, boy, it was bad. It was a bad place to be, but it's okay. We don't think about that. We don't worry about that. It's Texas, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. You could be in like Florida, right, and have to deal with that freaking hurricane.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. I mean, well, at least you have Disney.
I really want to go to Austin, though. I haven't been. I've been to Dallas, but not Austin.
Dude,
it's on the list.
So when you come down, I was giving you a shout out earlier this stream when I first started. Like, I finally got. Let me show you actually before it gets too late. Hang on. Let me show you something. Watch this.
Farzad is turning into Joe Rogan day by day here.
Dude, Listen, I'm trying my best to bring value and entertainment to our awesome community members. Check this out. Ready?
Okay.
This is going to be you one day when you come down to Austin. Boom.
Oh,
there.
Wow. Look at that. That's cool.
Look.
So
it's
who's
going to
your
be
first
two
guest?
people. I don't know yet. I haven't been able to convince anybody locally. No, I've actually been working on a. I actually gonna propose that to him when he. I know he's just got. I think he's getting in this week. Dave, if you're listening, you're obviously always welcome. But he's been traveling a lot, so I think I'm gonna let him sort of settle in a little bit and get his life back together. And like him and I have played tennis before. I think we'll probably play tennis at some point this year.
Nice.
Be like, yo, you're always welcome to come on. So
I am so down to come to Austin, play tennis, whip you up a little bit in there, and then slam you at the podcast. Yeah, I'm down. I'm quite competitive. I love tennis.
Okay, Did you watch the Federer thing that he retired?
No, unfortunately, I don't watch tennis at all. I just play.
Okay, you just play. Okay, well, I can't wait for you to come down and for me to kick your ass. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
And I'll give you a whole package of blueberries as your like parting, sort of gift of losing to me in tennis. I'm gonna give you like a quart of blueberries, bro.
I see how it is.
Rub the salt in the wound.
I say, and I bet you chat's behind me on this. We should play a best of 7 series tennis, and the loser has to eat juju or blueberries, depending on the winner.
I love
Live on stream.
Perfect. Sign me up. Look at that. Yeah. Shake on it. There. We're gonna shake on it. There you go. Done. Look, and we end the match in a healthy way. See that? It's perfect.
I mean, in terms of bets go, like that's probably one of the lamest, healthiest bets we've ever had.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It needs to be done.
Definitely on live stream history of any live stream ever made. That was probably one of the lamest like things that's ever been agreed upon, but the healthiest. And honestly, that's probably more important, right?
Yes.
It's more important. Yeah, man.
Awesome. Austin, home
Appreciate you, man.
Yes. Thanks for inviting me in, and I'll catch everyone in the chat later. Best of luck on the stream. Oh, are you doing? Are you in tomorrow for the?
I think so. Did Bradford reach out to you or no?
I haven't checked any of my messages. Okay. I've been working. Yeah.
I mean, I know he's supposed to send out the schedule. I'm assuming we're going to be in it tomorrow. Do you still want to do you want to do it yourself? You want to tag team it? Honestly, I don't care. Like whatever you want to do.
I'm down.
I don't mind.
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm down if you want to tag team again.
Yeah, sure. Because I think the way we did it last time, it was cool how we did like a back and forth kind of thing. But again, don't feel pressure to like have to tag team it all the time. If you want to do your own show, like please,
it's a lot easier to tag team. Yeah. You too.
Yeah. No, I like having the other person with me because I can actually bounce stuff off.
Exactly.
But, yeah, man.
I appreciate you very much inviting me on. Thanks everyone. Take care.
Of course. All right.
And
thanks, Yashu.
And everyone has to hit subscribe and like for Farzad's stream and channel. Make sure you've done that. If you haven't done that, I don't think this will really convince you, but it was worth it. All right. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, man. Take it easy, brother. Oh my God. I love Yashu. He's the best. He's so cool. I really do hope he makes it down to Austin, because I think it'd be really cool to have him as an in-person guest. So let's do a couple more. Yeah. How valid are the claims Joe Justice makes about digital self-management in Tesla? They seem too good to be true. Yeah, so I think I didn't work on the factory side of the business. I worked on the service distribution side of the business. The thing that I noticed was that manufacturing tended to have a lot more sophisticated tools than we did. Quite a bit more sophisticated, because obviously the focus of the company, especially at that time when I was at the company, was to get production to a level that was profitable. And so they're going to invest as much time as humanly possible in that. From my side of the coin, of course we had resources, but we were a little bit more sort of self-sufficient and crafty, and we, completely understood that when you're a company that's super focused on profitability on your factories, certain things are, you're going to hope that the people that are there are going to create their own solutions. So I can speak from experience. I personally was in charge of creating tools and dashboards and visual aids for people to do their jobs easier and to point people towards the solution in some parts of the process. So if you want to call that digital self-management, we did a form of that on the distribution side. But I'm not familiar with the factory side, so I would default to Joe. From that respect. But I hope that answers your question, Eric. Yes. Question. I'd love to experience Austin. There's reasonably priced tickets from New Zealand to Austin in February and March. I'm thinking of coming for a month and doing remote work. Is that an okay time of the year? Great question. February does get cooler out here. You'll probably get a couple days of, let's say there's probably going to be a week in that time frame, probably a couple of weeks of say close to 0-degree weather around these parts. But you'll also have 50% of the time will be sunny and call it 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. The nights will drop to like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. So say, what is that, like 3 to 4 C to like 18 C, 20 C, something like that. 20 C might be too high. It does cool down dramatically. However, if you do come during a winter season that's not super cold, that time of the year is absolutely spectacular. But in the nighttime, it does get chilly. If you don't mind that, come on down. You know, the days will be shorter, so you don't get as much sunlight. But yeah, Austin's just a great place to be at any time, to be honest, in my opinion. But I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from the Northeast, so I lived in snow and all that stuff. So any break from that for any extended period of time is amazing for me. So I love it. Question. Elon has hired a great legal team. Do you think he will ever hire a PR team? This question has been asked many times, and it's always interesting to think about the implications of a PR team. I do think that Elon's probably not likely to invest in a PR team for a while. I think because the way he approaches the PR question is, why would we need PR outside of trying to sell more things? And if Tesla's demand is secured, especially long term, a PR department doesn't make much sense within the context of how I think Elon and the team over there are thinking about it. So I think until they feel that a PR team is going to enable them to reach their long-term production and delivery goals, I don't know if they'll sign up for a PR team, but that's just my thought. I could be 100% wrong. Let me know what you think. Guesses on Tesla splits between 2030 and now. More than 1, less than 10. That was such a BS answer, but I'm going to stick to it. Self is looking for opportunity to work in Tesla supply chain related. Do you know any supply chain procurement folks that you can link up? Haha. I know a fair number of folks in that part of the org, but I do want to respect their privacy. And I would tell you that regardless of how many people you know in Tesla, the best way for you to get into Tesla is to just go on the careers page and apply for the position and try to put your best foot forward in your resume and how you present yourself. Because Tesla, I think, does an extremely well job at being fair in hiring people. And just because you know somebody doesn't mean that you're going to get a job or even get an opportunity to interview, to be honest. So that would be my advice. And I think I like that. I like that a lot. You know, I think that's very fair. It's very fair that Tesla does that because it maximizes the chances of getting the best talent possible in-house. You know, they're not going to prioritize people just because they know them. Do you think Elon has a publicist? If he does, then that publicist is probably the most unorthodox publicist in the history of mankind. What do you guys think? I think he probably has an assistant, but not a publicist. If a robotaxi can generate $500,000 over its 10-year lifetime, why would Tesla ever sell a compact car? That is the question that's been coming up a lot lately, right? I think that the way to think about that is, will Tesla be able to sell robotaxi in every market that would demand a compact car and would instead use a robotaxi? And how big of a market would that be? So maybe robotaxi is not legal in, say, half the world because they don't have the infrastructure and maybe the governments are restrictive, but they allow cars you can drive yourself. That could be a lot of compact cars. And if Tesla's goal is to advance the advent of sustainable transport and, you know, sustainable energy generation and consumption, but half of the vehicles can't be replaced with robotaxi for, say, the next 10, 20 years because of limits in infrastructure or whatever else, then it behooves Tesla to build a compact car. That's how I think about it. So I think there will be a compact car because of that. I don't think every single place in the world is going to be allowed to have a robotaxi. So, we can't just think about the US in this standpoint. We have to think about the entire world, right? Because Tesla is a global company. Let's do a couple more. Do you think Tesla shareholders will get any amenities in the future? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Amenities like... Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that, Evan, so maybe help me understand it a little better. I will be in Austin next month to visit friend and attend Austin City Limits. Nice. Are there any Tesla-related events going on in the next few weeks? None that I know of. Check with the Tesla Austin Owners Club on Twitter. They usually post any events they have going on, so I would look them up. I actually know the person who helps run that organization. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. Super kind. Matthew, shout out if you're watching this. Farzad, what's up, James? I think Tesla is a super fire hose. However, I think Tesla Energy will be the waterfall of future volume and cash flow. Your thoughts, brother? The craziest thing about energy is that it's this thing that barely gets talked about, yet it has probably the most potential out of anything else. That, well, no, I lied. FSD and bots are bigger. It's gigantic potential from the standpoint of leveraging existing technology and scaling it so that it's massively profitable with not nearly as much work as would be required to, say, getting bot or FSD up and running. So like there's a whole industry, there's a whole part of the market that's completely untapped that Tesla has the supply chain for, that if they turn on and scale, they can dominate a market that very few people are playing in. I'm very curious to see when the quarter comes where everyone's going to look and be like, holy crap, Tesla is a energy behemoth. What happened? Where did this volume come from? I don't think that's Q3. I don't think that's Q4. It's probably sometime next year. And the interesting thing about this comment is that Martin Vieca, the head of investor relations for the company, for Tesla, has said that this is one of the very few times, rare times in the history of the company that they've been able to secure enough supply to do whatever they want, to actually get their goals done. They're not production constrained. They're not supply chain constrained. So that speaks to, is energy ready to ramp? It's fun. It's fun to think about. We'll see. Brent, thank you so much, man. $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Super exponential growth. Imagine an optimist performing the Tesla job that you used to have. Yeah. I say no, but yeah, that's, it won't even be like, for me specifically, it'd probably be an AI that does it instead of a bot. Because then my job was mostly, it was heavy sort of analytics, dashboarding and stuff. But if you're able to automate that stuff with an AI, you don't even need a bot. You just need software. So, yeah. All right, let's do one or two more. A question: how will EPS compression affect Tesla, if at all? What would be the thing that causes EPS compression? Miguel, help me understand that question a little bit better, because maybe we can go off of that. So I like the spectacles. Thanks, Richard. Thank you. Will you buy them from me for any amount of money, since you're a lawyer? Maybe you could sell me a new pair, Richard. Awesome, long-time listener of the show. Appreciate you, man. And also supporter. Thank you. On your point, looking for supply chain role in Tesla, the problem itself is not based in the US, but in Singapore, hence it is difficult on my side. Yeah, there's definitely complexities there. So maybe your best bet would be, could definitely still apply, especially if you're able to get a work visa to work in the States. But I do think Tesla will probably make their way over to that part of the world at some point. So, it might just be a matter of time before you're able to join that company. So best of luck. I really wish you the best of luck. Okay. All right. An hour and 23 minutes and 58 seconds in. I've tried out this new layout. My hairy ass knee has made an appearance on the stream. I apologize, but I have a knee. I can't help it. thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Next day, tomorrow, I should be back on with Yashu, doing our usual Tuesday. Now that it seems like we're doing like this weekly Tuesday thing where we'll cover Tesla with the Tesla 24/7 project that has been kicked off in Twitter Spaces as well as YouTube. If you're not familiar with this, go on Twitter and look up Tesla 247. So TSLA_247. Let me show you this account so you can see it on screen, because there's a lot of I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of bots on Twitter and sometimes they impersonate people. So I don't know if you've ever known that. This account, Tesla 247, TSLA_247. These folks host a space every Tuesday that basically runs all day. And Yashu and I will probably take the, if I were to guess, the 1 o'clock and the 2 o'clock Central time slot, which would be 2 o'clock would be Yashu's power hour. And then 1 o'clock, an hour before, would be my slot where we can sort of sit down and talk about different things. So anyway, I hope you had a good time. I hope you like this new layout. I still got to work through some kinks. I'll be doing this week, but thank you all so much for your support. I super appreciate everyone's support. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Mwah. Thank you for sticking around. If you enjoy what you watch, I would love it if you throw me a like. And even if you don't, I really appreciate you stopping by. And I always appreciate everybody who has supported the channel, either through Patreon or YouTube. Thank you so much. Every single penny that has been essentially donated or given to me through those channels, I've reinvested right back into this studio to try and bring you the best possible content. So, and the guitar will be coming back, I promise. I'm still playing with the new layout, so I want to make sure I get this all honed in before I bring the guitar back. So thank you all very much. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. And broadcast.